Controlled by a mentally disabled female supporting system, they both perished in the end. After being reborn, Miao twisted and turned black. So dark and ferocious, Commander. It's better to kill 1,000 by mistake than. It's so elusive. There are still many good people here. Put down your knife quickly and carefully injure your hands. The ruthless and ruthless CEO. I would rather disappoint the people of the world than. It's so insignificant. Give me a chance, I will never disappoint you in this life. Sick and suspicious Crown Prince. It's better to believe in its existence than to. It's so insignificant. We have to rely on evidence when we do things, not to indiscriminately kill innocent people. Fierce tyrant. Those who follow me live, those who rebel against me die. Who am I looking at? It's insignificant. The emperor in this historical book is simply too irritable, and I absolutely cannot learn from him. Miao, who had just planned to sweep away all obstacles, nodded obediently and said, "You're really a good person." The emperor quietly wiped away his sweat. "It's okay, my mind is spinning fast, otherwise I would have to stay alone in an empty room tonight." Keywords of the novel. Fast-wearing female supporting. The villain is pretending to be pitiful again without a pop-up window. Fast-wearing female supporting. The villain is pretending to be pitiful again. Download the complete text. Fast-wearing female supporting. The villain is pretending to be pitiful again. Read the latest chapter. Chapter 1. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. Damn girl, will you let go? If you don't let go, I'll beat you up. Miao's consciousness had just awakened, and he felt a tug of pain on the back of his hand. Someone is picking at her hand and pulling her out. Reflectively gripping the things in his hand tighter, while pulling in his own direction. "Oh, you dead girl, how dare you argue with me? If you don't bring it, I'll make you look good." Miao blinked, feeling a bit confused about the scene in front of him. Who is this chubby woman? Full of red little scrolls, resembling a golden-haired lion king. Due to habit, she not only didn't let go, but also held on to the golden bracelet with sapphires in her hand. Quickly glanced around, it only took a second, and immediately realized something. Before I could even show my ecstatic expression, the vast and chaotic memories flooded into my mind like a tide. All are disconnected fragments, except for the memory of the last apocalyptic plane, and the memory possessed by this body is complete. If it weren't for her strong spiritual consciousness and stable mental and physical condition, so many memories would suddenly impact her brain, and she would probably become a fool even if she didn't die. "You damn girl, if you don't let go, I'll kill you today. After all, there are very few people coming to this park, and even if you die, no one will notice." I looked left and right. This park is indeed quite sluggish. I have roughly figured out the situation. Miao squinted his eyes and didn't let go. Instead, he tugged even harder like a chubby woman in a tug of war. Then, seizing the opportunity, when the Golden Lion King exerted the most force, his hand suddenly loosened. He gave a wicked smile and said, "Do you want it? Here it is." The fat woman didn't have time to be happy, and her obese body inertia fell backwards. Pound water splashed everywhere. "It's really beautiful." The little girl thought with a smile. "Help! Help! Help! Help!" The woman struggled vigorously in the water with a thump. I even had the strength to breastfeed, but because I was too fat, I struggled for a long time. Not only did I not dock, but I also went further offshore. I heard that when a chubby person falls into the water, the splashes will be very big. It turns out to be true. A girl of 18 or 19 years old, with a sweet appearance and 2 cute dimples visible when her mouth is raised. Paired with a high-quality and stylish white lightweight woolen sweater, a blue-gray plaid skirt, and slightly curled brown long hair, the whole person is cute and sweet like a doll. At this moment, she stood by the pavilion in the lake, smiling and watching the fluffy and panicked drowned chicken floating in the water, with a soft and sweet voice. Only in those big cat eyes, there was a hint of contented laughter, appearing somewhat eerie. Help! Help me! Stinky! Stinky ya! Help me! Miao Yufeng felt extremely resentful in her heart, but after choking on a lot of water, she could only seek help from the people on the shore. Why did I save you? My sister. Law lay on the edge of the railing, looking at her with a simple and innocent expression. Isn't that what you said? This place is off the beaten track, no one is here, and even if you die, no one will notice. Moreover, you fell into the water yourself, not me pushing it. If you die, no one will blame me. You can see such a beautiful play as soon as you come back, what a delightful sight. My mood has improved a lot. So this play can be watched longer. Don't worry. Miao Yufeng was extremely scared and cold. This stinky girl, shouldn't she be really angry? They keep asking her for money, so they want to kill themselves directly, right? Feeling flustered in her heart, she struggled even harder. When she was a child, she knew how to swim because her family was by the river, but she hadn't swam for many years. She was old and overweight, which was why she couldn't swim in the water. Nowadays, if you want to live, you can only desperately salvage your swimming skills. Warning! Warning! If the host does not maintain their character, they will enter shock penalty mode. They will enter shock penalty mode. Quick wearing female supporting actress. The villain is pretending to be pitiful again. 1-1v1, double cleanliness. Face slapping is refreshing, and both men and women are strong. The villains in every world are the same person and the true male protagonist. He is a bit sickly, cute, poisonous, and sweet. The female lead, she is a bit cruel, a bit perverted, and enjoys playing pranks. As for the three perspectives, they have already been taken offline. Xinwen is still a young seedling, and I hope the beautiful and lovely little ones will take care of it carefully. I hope to grow strong under the common love and care of everyone. Key points. I don't like it, just slide away. Let's meet again next time we have a chance. Oh, salute, shake hands, we are still good friends. Welcome to Q Group. 966261053, quick wearing boss, end of this chapter. Chapter 2. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. Upon hearing the familiar mechanical sounds of the system, Yun Miao's aura suddenly changed, becoming like a ferocious beast that had just emerged from its cage. A pair of cat eyes curved, and with a smile, he lightly lifted his lips and said, "Go to hell." The next second, the system that still needs to issue a warning suddenly feels wrapped in something, squeezing from all directions as if it is about to explode. Although it didn't feel any pain, it made its scalp explode, its heart chill, and the entire system couldn't stop trembling. The wild chicken intellectual disability system caused Yun Miao's mood to drop to the bottom just in time. The memories of the original plane are a bit blurry, only remembering that her body is not good, but her parents and loved ones love her very much. He has a simple temperament, and when he dies, he is only 18. When she took her last breath and encountered a system that said it could give her new life and a healthy body, she agreed without even thinking about it. Unfortunately, life is alive, but every aspect is very tragic. And it's like a string puppet that can't have its own thoughts, controlled and enslaved. When you want to die, you cannot, you can only choose to live or die, because it is not yet time for you to die. When you die, you must die happily, and no matter how miserable you die, it will be. Otherwise, you cannot make people laugh or feel happy. Simply put, each of her lives is a big joke and a tragedy. And this is just because when she died, she was bound to a garbage pheasant system. And she, weak and unable to resist. If it weren't for accidentally picking up a black bead with space, she wouldn't have been able to kill the spicy chicken system, survive, and return to the first plane. The black bead is a more advanced existence than the system, and the system cannot see it at all. It contains a special energy, not spiritual energy, but a dark energy that only exists in the universe. After cultivating this energy, her soul became stronger and stronger. Finally, in the apocalyptic plane, the spiritual body and system were detached, the physical body was thrown away, and the spicy chicken system was shaken off. Black Pearl Space has the ability to trace time and cross space. This is why she was able to survive and ultimately return to the first task plane. This arrangement is really wonderful. Feeling very happy, Miao casually got into a small black room and threw the system in. 444 tries to struggle, but immediately feels a sense of oppression. It was so angry that it almost exploded in place. What the hell is going on here? It is bound to a young girl who died of congenital heart disease at the age of 18. The little girl either stayed at home or in a nursing home since childhood, and had little contact with people because her parents and brothers loved her, and her temperament was as simple as paper. How did she turn around and only see her to the first plane, completely transforming? The more you think, the more confused your mind becomes. However, no matter what, the host must be punished for being so disobedient. Otherwise, how will the next task be completed? The annoying things are gone, and Miao's mood has improved a bit. Continue watching the play. Xiao Miao, Mom will never come to you for money again. You go and call someone to save Mom. If Mom really dies, you can't get rid of it and it will definitely implicate you. Miao Yufeng struggled hand and foot for half a day, but could only keep herself from sinking. There is no way, she can only compromise. Looking pleadingly at the innocent girl on the shore. Although she was already so angry that she cursed fiercely in her heart, and when she came out, she wanted to show her some color. No, I'm Miss Yun from the Yun family. Even if I don't have any blood ties, after all, we've been together for almost 20 years. They definitely won't let me have any trouble. Yun Miao has a sweet smile, and her dimples are beautiful and cute, just like a cute little white rabbit, without any attacking power. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. Besides, they have to worry about the reputation of the Yun family, right? The person who swapped 2 babies and replaced her daughter with someone else's healthy daughter who had a heart attack was not her, but this woman who claimed to be her own mother. So, even if the Yun family wants to cause trouble, they should still be looking for this person. Of course, this requires them to be clear-headed, not mentally disabled. But you are different. It is said that people who died in the water will swell up like Mantu after soaking for a long time. They will also become the giant temple, which will explode in the end. The girl smiled and clenched her fist while speaking, then suddenly released it and made a gesture of something exploding. That scene is really scary. The words in his mouth were terrifying, but the smile in his eyes grew even stronger. Completely. Like a little devil. Miao Yufeng's face turned pale with fear in the water, and she suddenly sank again without noticing. When she struggled to come out, she had already choked on several more mouthfuls of water. The girl propped her chin and kindly reminded. Oh, the water in the river is not tasty. Here, there are duck droppings, bird droppings, and children's droppings and urine. Why are you still addicted to drinking? Miao Yufeng, who had finally stabilized herself, was so angry that she trembled and almost sank again. After a while, the girl frowned and thought for a moment. She stood up and patted the hem of her skirt, saying, "Forget it, I'll go find a bamboo pole and pull you up." Who said I'm so kind and cute? Feeling that he had finished watching the play, the resentment in his heart dissipated a bit. Finally, Yun Miao showed great compassion and left the pavilion, going to the shore to find an abandoned long bamboo pole. However, the leisurely pace was not like rushing to save someone, but rather like taking a walk after dinner. Miao Yufeng in the water looked both anxious and resentful, but she dared not urge at all. Come on, hold on tight. If you can't hold on tight and fall again, I won't care. The bamboo pole stretched out, and Miao Yufeng seemed to grab the last life-saving straw, quickly grasping it with both hands. Miao Yufeng originally thought that she was thin and weak, with little strength, and might not be able to pull herself ashore. She was even prepared to pull herself closer, causing trouble by dragging the stinky girl into the water and swimming ashore on her own. I just didn't expect that as soon as she grabbed the bamboo pole, she was pulled to the shore like a water arrow. After a moment of confusion, he was immediately overjoyed and quickly used his hands and feet to climb up in embarrassment. Who? Miao Yufeng, who was completely powerless, didn't care about anything else and lay on the ground of the pavilion like a corpse. Ah! The abdomen seemed to have been hit by a big stone, and the painful sound scared away the birds perched on the eaves of the pavilion. Immediately after, she experienced waves of nausea and discomfort in her stomach, spitting out a lot of water. After vomiting, her eyes turned black before she saw a foot in white sneakers stepping on her belly. It looks light and ethereal, but only those who have personally experienced it know where feet are. It's about a hammer. Seeing that she was about to step down, Miao Yufeng shrank back in fear and said with a frightened expression, "What are you doing?" The girl tilted her head and blinked in confusion. "You drank so much water soaked in duck droppings and bird droppings, don't you think it's disgusting? Since we've all rescued you, I'll be kind enough to help you again." As she spoke, she lifted her foot and stepped down again. No. At this moment, Miao Yufeng couldn't care about anything else. Even if the stomach is indeed a bit bloated. Trembling, he quickly used both hands and feet, supporting the railing by the pavilion and trembling his legs as he climbed up. At this moment, when she looked at the girl, she was no longer the weak and deceitful little rabbit she used to be, but rather like looking at a demon, a terrifying demon. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again, this stinky girl. Can't be possessed by a ghost, right? Otherwise, how could there be such a sudden change? The strength is still so strong. Miao Yufeng became more and more scared as she thought about it. A gust of wind blew over, making her flesh tremble along with it. If you dare not stop, turn around and run. Hey! Don't you want the bracelet anymore? This bracelet is made of gold, and the sapphire on it is worth tens of thousands. Miao Yufeng ran faster and wished she could use all her strength to breastfeed, stay a little further away from here. After running out of the park soaked all over, I finally stopped panting heavily. Looking back at the direction of the park, with a fierce glare in his eyes, he gritted his teeth and gave the ground a hard poo. Stinky girl, if I hadn't swapped you back then, could you have become a daughter and lived such a good life? Now that you're developed, you want to turn your back and not recognize anyone. There's no way. She came alone today. Next time, if she brings a few more people, she won't believe she can't cure this dead girl. In the pavilion, Yun Miao glanced at the wet bracelets on the ground and picked them up with some regret. You're so pitiful, you've been pulled out of shape, and in the end, they didn't want you anymore. Forget it, sister, pity you. I'll take you to exchange money tomorrow. With money, you can buy delicious food. Having just experienced a difficult apocalypse, Yun Miao habitually wanted to hoard some food. At this moment, 444 finally struggled out of its small black room and roared angrily. Host, what's going on with you? Why don't you follow the plot? Do you know that if you don't follow the plot, you will be punished? If the plot collapses, you will be directly wiped out. Don't you want to live? It was originally a mechanical sound, but now it seems to have changed its tone and taken on a bit of a human touch. Oh, no more machines installed. Back then, at first, she was deceived by this wild chicken system. I always thought it was a machine that didn't understand human relationships and was programmed. It wasn't until later that it became humanized, using the excuse that it had enough energy and evolved. Ah, spicy chicken. Yun Miao found a place to sit by the pavilion, leaned back, and crossed his legs. With a smile, he curled his lips and said, "Did you get chicken blood? This chicken jelly. Come on, you can erase one and show it to my aunt. Coincidentally, she hasn't seen it yet." 444. What exactly is going on? Why is it really like changing someone else? On the surface, it appears delicate, with a sweet smile, pure and beautiful. Long curly hair, palm-sized face, a pair of smiling cat eyes, curved into crescents, a small and delicate nose, upturned corners of the mouth, and cute dimples on the cheeks. In this early autumn small park, the whole person exudes a sweet smell. However, upon closer examination in those smiling eyes, the brown-black pupils were deep and bottomless, like a black hole that feeds on people, with a cold and piercing chill, and a bloodthirsty evil energy rushed towards the face. Under the warm sunshine, it can make people shiver. If she used to be a simple little white flower, then now she is like a cannibal flower with venom that eats people without spitting out bones. What kind of ghost host is it bound to? 444 trembled with some fear, unsure of what to do for a moment. At this point, the host should have listened to it, maintained its original design, and followed the plot, but by the way, there are punishments, electric shocks, angina, and ants piercing the heart. We have to give it a try no matter what. 444 prepared to teach this disobedient host a lesson and quietly activated the electric shock punishment. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. However, the next second, it felt the discomfort of being squeezed from all directions. No matter how hard it struggles, it is of no use. Yun Miao leaned back on the chair, enjoying the sunshine, fresh air, and the refreshing breeze caressing his cheeks. Gently raised the corner of the mouth. I didn't have time earlier, so I gave a slight punishment. Now, spicy chicken intellectual disability system, why don't you try erasing it? Yun Miao is too familiar with this wild chicken system and knows what it is quietly doing. Unfortunately now, she is not the innocent and curious person who just arrived at her first plane, carrying infinite hope for new life and gratitude to the system, just like the one on white paper. I have experienced countless facets, countless struggles and pains, countless betrayals, abandonment, torture, and countless tragic deaths. Like an ant, even death is in the hands of others, and she has already turned her bones black. Warning. Warning, if the host insults the system again, it will %** at hashtag 444 originally activated the electrocution angina punishment, but the next second, it felt a suffocating threat of death. That feeling is like being tightly held by something around fate's neck. My mind was in a daze, and the data system also fell into a brief chaos. Although it quickly recovered, it turned pale in fear and the entire system was in chaos. The pheasant system. Is your brain stuck or is it infected with a virus? Are you a defective product that is about to be scrapped? Or is the person who entered the program for you a mentally disabled person? Otherwise, how could you invent such a mentally disabled garbage? Yun Miao opened his eyes and raised his lips in a good mood. The system is just an intelligent program, combined with a conscious energy body. As long as the spiritual body is greater than it, it can't do anything about itself. Moreover, what she is currently practicing is an energy that is more advanced than system energy, and her mental and physical strength is incredibly strong and stable. Not only can it be restrained, but it can even be absorbed as a form of energy. Of course, the system that had experienced countless planes had sufficient energy, and at that time she could not do anything about it. But the current small system probably the grasshopper in her palm. However, after enslaving her for so long, how could it just die like this? It's not urgent, there's a lot of time, it's a long time, take it slow. Besides, she still needs this little thing now. To use it effectively to the next plane, we also need to figure out which neurosis created it, and who is using this thing to control it. He casually threw the system into the small black room, with a simple and sweet smile at the corner of his mouth, humming a cheerful nursery rhyme. Miao walked out of the pavilion in the middle of the lake with a happy heart. Then he walked slowly towards the gate of the small park. The phone suddenly rang in the small shoulder bag around my waist. Take out a pink little phone with a shiny diamond attached and take a look. Brother Xiaofeng. My mind wandered around. Oh, Xiaofeng, Qi Feng, the eldest and youngest of the Qi family, are also the fiancé of this body. Remembering this person, Miao felt a chill in his eyes, but a strange smile appeared on his delicate little face. The voice was soft and sticky, like a cute little rabbit with no attacking power, clearly carrying joy. Hey, is that little Feng? Xiaofeng, you finally remember to call me. It's been several days since you came to play with me. The man across from her seemed to have never expected her to be so happy. After a pause, he gently explained. Miao, I'm sorry, Xiaofeng's company is too busy. We have a big project between our two recently, and we really can't spare time, which is why we overlooked you. However, I have time tomorrow. Didn't you say you wanted to go to the cinema to watch a movie last time? Would Xiaofeng come and pick you up tomorrow to watch a movie? Really? The girl stood under a tree, expressionless on her face, with a soft and sticky voice filled with joy, making it clear that she was very happy. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. On the other side, Qi Feng looked at the sky outside the landing window, hesitated for a moment, as if thinking of something, and his eyes showed firmness. Of course, when did Xiaofeng deceive you? No deception. What are you doing now? Dog man. Suddenly, I really want to feed him Yuding. Miao's eyes were sarcastic, but he replied happily, okay, I'll be waiting for you at home tomorrow. You must come, you can't break the promise. A hint of apology flashed in Qi Feng's eyes, and his tone was much gentler than before. No, Xiaofeng will definitely not break the promise again tomorrow. Just dress up beautifully and wait for Xiaofeng to come and pick you up. Okay. The voice became sweeter and clearly carried an unusual excitement. The beautiful and pure little girl's smile grew even stronger at the corners of her mouth. After hanging up the phone, Miao's mood improved and he felt that the air around him was fresher. Fold off the most beautiful flower tree in front of me and gently sniff it under my nose. The next game should be very fun, but I hope you can all be a little stronger. As he finished speaking, he gently stroked the flower in his hand and suddenly exerted force. The bright pink flowers in her palm instantly turned into shattered petals. With a wave of his hand, he fell to the ground. It looks very desolate, but also shows a hint of cruelty. Unfortunately. Without any pity, she gave a faint glance. The girl with a delicate appearance and clear and clean eyes lifted her feet and walked towards the outside of the park. This is the first plane that the system takes her through. At that time, she was so innocent and innocent. She thought she could really be healthy and live happily. Unexpectedly, in the first plane, her body still has heart disease, but it's not as severe as before. However, only for that, she was also very satisfied at that time. Unfortunately, the next thing is not too beautiful. Her original identity was not the real eldest lady of the Yun family, but was replaced by the Xia family's parents when she was just born in the hospital. The reason is somewhat ridiculous, but it's just because she gave birth to a daughter, not a son, and this daughter also has some mild heart disease. They don't want to waste money on this loser. I originally wanted to throw it in the toilet and throw it away, but I was afraid of being caught. After discovering that the emergency pregnant woman in the same room had given birth, there was no one to accompany her, and she also gave birth to a daughter, so she decided to exchange the two babies. The later development was very simple. The original body was extorted by their own parents, and then the real eldest lady of the Yun family returned. Most importantly, they are still reborn. So, the original body became tragic and became a greedy and malicious supporting woman. Not only was he disliked by the Yun family and kicked out of the Yun family, but he was also designed by his fiancée A to withdraw from the marriage, earning him a notorious reputation. Finally, he was suppressed and could only return to his biological parents. He was forcibly married to a second married man with a violent tendency, and on his wedding night, he died under his fist. However, she didn't know that all of this was designed by the reborn female lead Xia Yusen. Afterwards, Xia Yusen's love and career were both fruitful, and her foster parents flattered her family. Her biological parents loved her and she lived a happy life. And the man who just called is Chi Feng. Tomorrow, the person who will come to date and watch a movie with her will be Chi Feng's twin brother Chi Mo. At this point, Chi Feng had already fallen in love with a girl who was interning at the company, namely Xia Yusen. However, Xia Yusen remained aloof from him and still hung on to him. And she is the obstacle between them. This is the original rough plot. And System 444 requires her to follow the plot, with the aim of allowing the male and female leads to experience various misunderstandings and hardships and be happy together. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. It says that the male and female protagonists of the plane are the sons of Qi that have emerged, supporting the entire plane and closely related to its existence and complete operation. If they cannot be together, the power of rules in this world will be incomplete and there is a possibility of collapse. However, does the collapse have anything to do with her? Anyway, she won't die. Xia Yusen. Reborn, right? Charm ability or spiritual ability? Or is it really just a simple female lead halo? This woman is peculiar. At first, she couldn't understand, but after visiting so many planes, Yun Miao immediately discovered something. It seems that every man who approaches this woman will unconsciously fall in love with her. And everyone treated her like a white moonlight, even if she didn't choose them, even if she got married to Chi Feng, they didn't get angry or do anything extreme. On the contrary, they will silently bless her, silently continue to pay attention to her, and help her behind her back. Similarly, they will quietly suppress people she doesn't like behind her back, such as her original self. Ah! For 44, who was curled up in a corner like a chubby bag, heard her murmur and was so frightened that it almost jumped up in the form of a puppy. This host is really weird and powerful. They didn't even see anyone, so they guessed that Xia Yusen was not only reborn, but also possessed enchanting abilities. 444 feels a bit like crying. When it was first bound, it thought she was an angel who had fallen into the mortal world. Now this is a demon that only lurks behind and plays with humans. What kind of thing is it bound to? It is completely uncertain whether she is a person or not. What is certain is that now, apart from a few howls, it has nothing to do with her. On the contrary, every time it meets her, there is a chilling feeling. I feel like if I offend her harshly, I will immediately be skinned and eaten by her. Let's continue to persevere. As for commanding her arrogantly and threatening her, it doesn't want to die yet. What's your name? Stay calm, or I'll eat you. 444 reflexively covered his mouth with his paws and dared not make any more noise. Yun Miao snorted coldly. It's quite sensible. For this little bastard, she has no favorable impression at all. Even if you know this thing, it's just a program set by someone, and those commands and punishments are all set by the person who set it. At first, when Yun Miao walked through, after knowing her true identity, she didn't want to support her biological parents and wanted to speak up about the situation, but the system didn't allow it. She said that in order to maintain her character, she had to follow the plot. Later, when Yun Miao left, he didn't want to deliberately pretend to be miserable, nor did he want to frame Xia Yusen with a heart attack, but the system warned him and even used electric shock punishment to achieve his goal. Transformed her into a cunning, materialistic, and malicious female supporting character who couldn't bear to part with the wealth of the Yun family. Or a malicious female supporting character who triggers the relationship between the male and female leads. After leaving the Yun family, Yun Miao had no intention of returning to the Xia family and wanted to rely on her own hands to support herself. However, she was electrocuted by the system and asked to leave the plot and return to the Xia family. She didn't want to follow the arrangement of the Xia family's parents and marry a wealthy old man with a second marriage and a violent tendency. As a result, she was electrocuted and subsequently drugged by the Xia couple. That night, due to resistance, he died under the fist of a violent second married man who was drunk. It can be said that her entire life was under control. She is completely playing the role of a vicious, self-destructive, and ultimately tragic supporting actress who dies tragically. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. After leaving the park and taking a taxi, Yun Miao returned to his home smoothly. The Yun family is located in a villa area in the suburbs, with a large mountain behind the villa area. The air here is fresh, and each villa has a large backyard. Yun Miao, who spent more than a decade in the apocalypse, expressed great satisfaction. There are only servants at home, and Yun's father Yun Jinshan and brother Yun Heng go to the company early every morning. Micah Yang Huichin is not in good health and spends most of her time at home, raising flowers, designing clothes, or drinking afternoon tea with wealthy ladies in her circle. At this moment, she also left the door. Miss, I'm back. How are you feeling today? Are you hungry? Li Mama, who usually takes care of Yun Miao, immediately wiped the water stains on her hands when she returned and greeted her with a kind expression. Li Mama, probably when she left the Yun family, the only person in the entire Yun family who was reluctant to part with her. Because she had a congenital heart disease, although it was not serious and did not affect her life and school, Yinfu Micah found her a careful servant who could make tonic diet when she was young. Mom Li, I'm fine, I feel very good. Yun Miao's mouth curved lightly, his smile sweet, and a pair of very unique cat eyes curved into moon buds, transforming him into a simple and harmless little rabbit. Touching the flat belly, the voice was soft and sweet, with a hint of coquettishness. I'm really hungry, Mom Li. Can you help me bring the food to the room? I want to go wash up first. Li Mama's smile deepened and she raised her hand to look at the watch on her wrist. It was already 12:30. It's already this time, it's past lunchtime. It's no wonder you're not hungry. Hurry up and wash up, I'll bring you the food right away. It's been hot by the fire, waiting for you to come back and eat. Yun Miao nodded obediently and skillfully, then quickly walked up the European-style stairs, up the third floor, and into the innermost room. That is her bedroom, because it has a relatively large balcony that faces the big mountain behind her. She likes it, so she chose this room. Before revealing her identity, Yinfu Micah was really kind to her. Although her brother Yun Heng was very busy, he would often send her messages reminding her to keep warm, not to run around, and to bring medicine with her. He would also occasionally give her small gifts. It can be said that before the truth was revealed, she was the treasure of the Yun family. And the original person, with a kind heart, only occasionally goes to school and spends most of her time at home with specialized teachers to teach her. Therefore, she has a simple personality and does not understand any human relationships or worldly wisdom, just like the original person. Unfortunately, life played a big joke on her. After a meal, Miao contentedly moved his computer and sat at a wooden table on the balcony, enjoying the afternoon sunshine while starting to surf the internet. 444 silently watched. My heart is a bit square. It needs to hibernate and study this host carefully. Perhaps, what loopholes can be found. Miao's hand speed was extremely fast, and it didn't take much time to call up some surveillance footage, recover some data, and find what she wanted. Sure enough, every time the Xia family came to extort money from Yuanshi, Xia Yusin would hide nearby and peek. That happy little expression and smirk look really nice. Miao had a stronger smile in his eyes, a brighter smile at the corners of his mouth, and his slender and fair fingers gently caressed the person in the picture. Don't worry, I will make everyone see your sweet smile. You smile so beautifully, how can we not let everyone appreciate it more? For 44, why does it have a tingling scalp? Also, why does she still understand hacking techniques and have such a fast hand speed? End of this chapter. Chapter 9. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again, isn't it? Because she has a serious heart disease that she can't work hard and is restricted from reading books, watching TV, and surfing the internet. It's because she's innocent, but her consciousness is strong, that's why it binds her before she dies. 444 once again confirms that the host in front of us is not easy to provoke, and it's not even the original one. Host, what are you doing? You can't act recklessly. Unable to resist, 444 bravely asked weakly. Oh, it's nothing, it just reminds me of a fun game. Miao smiled at the corner of his mouth, took a screenshot of the image he needed, and saved it in a hidden folder. Then, skillfully resetting the firewall on both my computer and phone. That heavy trap, all kinds of viruses beyond this world level. 444 widened his eyes and opened his mouth wide. It is about to collapse. It's like someone punctured a balloon with a needle, and the entire system leaked. It originally intended to use its proud move to lure the host and make her obediently follow the plot. As a result, their skills were superb and they didn't even need to rely on themselves. After browsing the internet for a while, Miao drank a glass of milk sent by Li Mama and sat quietly in the lounge chair on the balcony. Close your eyes and face the mountain, practicing proficiently in the warm sun. This is an ordinary plane, although it doesn't require too much force. Miao has long been accustomed to it. After understanding their tragic situation, every time they reach a new level, they will try their best not to rely on the system and print everything they can learn into their minds, constantly strengthening themselves. Especially when it comes to some technological aspects, she will quietly study the system. There is no spiritual energy, elemental energy, or supernatural ability in the air. However, none of this will stump her. She cultivates mysterious energy in the universe. This body has a heart disease, which was not originally serious. After years of treatment at the Yun family, there are basically no major problems. However, due to the torment of these 6 years, they have been living in a state of fear and agony, so now it is even more serious than before without treatment. Miao directed energy to the heart, repairing it, and finally left a dark energy to protect it, ending the 3-hour-long cultivation. Because it is congenital heart failure, although it has not fully recovered, it has already returned to a state of being at home. Now, the heart strength is basically the same as that of ordinary people. Because the entire body has been tempered, and the physique has become similar to that of ordinary people. As long as she continues to cultivate, I believe she will soon have a strong body. In addition to her skills and strong mental strength, it is estimated that no one can beat her in this aspect. 444 silently lingers on one side. Watching her practice, watching her wash off the greasy impurities all over her body, change into a pink-blue goat fur shirt, comfortable woolen wide-leg pants, and drag down the stairs with cute panda slippers. He watched her and Mama Lee quietly talking and laughing, patiently cooking tonic diet and soup. She is more innocent, kind, and sweet than the previous Miss Yun from the Yun family. It's like an angel, accidentally getting lost and entering the human world. Host. What do you really want to do? You're not trying to poison the Yun family, are you? I don't know why, but the more I look at 444, the more scared it becomes. I always feel that such a host is more terrifying than her expressionless face. My scalp is starting to tingle. Of course, it is to make soup and tonic diet for my mother. Yun Miao was busy living with a smile on his face, his lips curved upwards and his face pure and kind. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. President, Madam, she's doing something wrong again. My mother is not in good health and can't eat many things. My father and brother have been busy with the company and work very hard. I am currently on vacation at home, so I need to take good care of them. Are you so kind? 444 doesn't believe even half a word. It always feels like the host is holding back some big trick. Micah came back first and was almost moved to tears when she saw her daughter making tonic diet and soup for herself in the kitchen. The father and son of the Yun family, who were waiting to return one step later, sat at the dining table and couldn't stop eating the food cooked by their precious daughter and sister themselves. Our humble craftsmanship is getting better and better, even better than the chef's skills in 5-star restaurants. Yeah, it's really delicious. Xiao Miao must have put in a lot of effort to figure it out, isn't it too hard? My little one is really amazing, my brother feels so happy. Yun Miao smiled gently and said, it won't be difficult, Mom and Dad, and you guys are the ones who work the hardest. And it's worth the effort. As long as I can help, make my mother's health better, and allow my father and brother to have a good meal outside of work, I will be happy. Eat more, be happy now, and suffer more in the future. Yun Miao obediently served dishes to several people while speaking in a soft and caring voice. That expression can't be more genuine. There is no trace of decoration. The three members of the Yun family were all deeply moved. Micah looked at her with tenderness and said, we Xiao Miao are so sensible. We really took advantage of that guy Chi Feng. Yeah, when we go to the Chi family in the future, we won't be able to eat such delicious food. Yun Heng ate the delicious food, feeling very regretful in his heart. If I had known earlier, they should have been engaged later. It has been almost 2 years since engagement, and when Xiao Miao turns 20, she will have to get married. Yun Miao felt a little helpless and said, Mom and Dad, brother, I'm just getting married, and it's not that I won't come back. Moreover, our families are not far apart. I will often come back to see you and cook delicious food for you. That's also true. Thinking that the Chi family is actually in the same villa area as them, just one on the south side of the mountain and the other on the north side of the mountain, the reluctance in Micah's heart is gone. Have Chi Feng been treating you lately? As soon as Chi Feng was mentioned, Yun Miao immediately showed a shy expression, with a smile on his face and a hint of excitement. Okay, he's been very kind to me, and he even arranged for me to go see a movie tomorrow. I'm so happy. That's good. Seeing her really happy, the three members of the Yun family were relieved and looked at her with indulgence, all smiling. Looking at the host who is getting better and better for the Yun family, 444's entire nerves are tense. According to the current host's personality, shouldn't she dislike the Yun family and Chi Feng? How could they be so kind to them? This way, it's even better than treating them as if we were wholeheartedly dedicated to them. Something's wrong. Something is very wrong. Host, did you add something addictive to your meal? 444 can't think of any other questions. Yun Miao smiled cleanly and thoroughly at the corner of his mouth. I am a good citizen. How could I possibly do that? Addictive things are impossible. She just put in some seasoning obtained in the cultivation world. After eating these delicious foods for a period of time and then eating others, you gradually become accustomed to eating some ordinary food. Now that the Yun family has money, they can also find some good chefs and eat better food. In the future, the Yun family will become poor. At that time, they would feel that the taste was the same and they couldn't swallow it. Every time I eat, I will definitely miss this moment. Once you miss it, you will definitely regret it in various ways. Let them always remember her and live under her shadow for the rest of their lives. That's all. End of this chapter.